Hey, I'm Becky, a destination wedding planning specialist who has personally walked more wedding venues in the Cancun and Riviera Maya than I can probably count. And today I am bringing you my 6 top picked resorts from wedding couples. These include adults only as well as family friendly. I went back and looked at as many times as I've shown them to couples and as many times as couples have chosen them. These are always winners. And rest assured, these are not resorts that I get big kickbacks from necessarily. These are the resorts that I see my wedding couples and their guests fall in love with. And to be clear, I constantly recommend them because they constantly deliver. If we don't know each other yet, my name is Becky from the blog travelagentbecky.com, and I specialize in destination weddings that happen in the Cancun and Riviera Maya areas. I also plan cruises and do cruise weddings with Virgin Voyages, so if any of those things are big on your list, make sure you check out the blog. But let's get into it. This one is probably on a lot of people's lists, but for good reason. This is Secrets Moxché in Playa del Carmen. This is about 45 minutes south of the Cancun airport, so we are not in the hotel zone at all. This is an adults only property that has a cenote vibe or aesthetic. Cenotes are private in-ground pools that are freshwater, and Mexico has thousands of them. But the design elements here really highlight that, and guests as well as wedding couples love it. This is definitely an upscale tropical vibe, not a spring break party vibe, although there is some option here for great nightlife if that's what you're into. This is not my favorite resort if you're looking for a gorgeous beach year-round. However, the pool game and service here, as well as the food and nightlife, really step it up. Real talk, this resort is not an ultra luxury resort, although there is an option if you're interested in impression Moxché, but it does elevate your stay. So if you really want your guests to have an elevated experience but not have to pay that luxury price tag, this could be a great option. Next up is Excellence Coral Playa Mujeres, and I have to tell you, wedding couples are eating this up. They love this property. This is another adults only property, but it is a new build in the Playa Mujeres area. If you're not familiar with Mexico, this is about 40 minutes north of the Cancun airport, but you're in a private gated community. Again, this is a really chic option, and the pricing comes in usually less than it does at Secrets Moxché. The beach is absolutely better here at Excellence Coral Playa Mujeres, but the nightlife can tend to be a little quiet. While the beach is absolutely stunning here, and we can do some incredible setups on the beach if you want your toes in the sand for your wedding, the Oasis gazebo is usually what my couples are looking for, and it steals the show every time. Excellence does their weddings very different, so it's important to know that while you do a room block at other places, you don't necessarily do room blocks with Excellence. What we can do though is lock in some discounted rates. So the rates you're shopping on the website are not the rates your guests will pay. As far as wedding packages go, these are not the cheapest. However, they are some of the most inclusive. So you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. It's one of those things where you pay a little more, you get a lot more. What I love about this property is that it's large, but it's not so large that you're not going to be able to find each other. While there are several buildings, the resort is shaped like a U with the beach and the pool sort of in the middle, so you really can't get lost. A little real talk, this is usually my top choice if you want something that looks luxe, but you don't want your guests to have to pay luxe. Resort number 3 is Paradisus Playa Del Carmen. Now this property technically has 2 sides. There's an adult-only side and there's a child-friendly side, a family-friendly side. So you get to have all of your guests attend your wedding. Your room block can include rooms from both sides. This is definitely the largest property that I've talked about so far. With over 600 rooms, you will definitely lose track of one another, so communication will be key. I have resources set up if you choose to hire me. This is a larger property, over 600 rooms here. So if you're looking for that small, intimate buyout feel, this is not the resort. However, if you want an option for your guests that includes family friendly, but also lets your adults stay on an adult only side, this is a great option because your room block can have rooms from both sides in it. Paradisus Playa del Carmen is one of my top choices for weddings that will have a large guest list. With a large guest list comes a large variety in budget, and Paradisus Playa del Carmen is great. I would consider this kind of a 4-star property. It's certainly not luxe, but there are opportunities to add or level up your room experience, and there are budget-friendly options, and everybody can attend the wedding. So it's really nice to have that wide range of budget availability in your room block. So real talk, this is not my first choice if you're planning a small, intimate micro wedding or budget wedding. However, if you are planning a large wedding and you expect 100 guests or more, this one's usually on my short list, especially if you have kids coming. Up next, this is for sure an elevated option, Unico 2087. So stunning. This is significantly further south, an over an hour drive once you land in Cancun. So I encourage you to ask your guests to stay 4 or more nights for this wedding. You are officially closer to Tulum than you are in Cancun, and with that comes a jungle vibe. You will see a ton of birds, a ton of lizards, monkeys, coati, so many animals. This is a sophisticated adults only property, and its whole aesthetic is Mexican art, Mexican focused, and Mexican forward. So you're going to see a lot of regional food, you're going to see a lot of locally sourced art. It is absolutely stunning. And their wedding team, while sometimes slow to respond, once it's your turn in the queue, so to speak, you are going to create an absolutely stunning wedding with them. I really love Unico 2087 as a resort. I send a lot of honeymoon clients here. I have been here personally more than once. It's just absolutely one of those resorts that people come back to. Real talk though, this is pricier. This is pricier than Paradisus Playa del Carmen. However, you're getting that elevated experience. If budget is your primary concern, we should scratch Unico 2087 off the list. However, if creating something really unique to you and keeping Mexico in the heart of it is important to you, this could be at the top. Next option is a family-friendly option. This is Finest in Playa Mujeres. Again, this is in the Excellence brand. We are going back up north to Playa Mujeres. This is just about 8 minutes down the road from the Excellence Coral Playa Mujeres. So same general area, same general beach. Finest Playa Mujeres is a more established and grown in, as far as vegetation goes, resort. So while Excellence Coral is still a new property, adults only, the vegetation is quite low. Finest is family friendly and very lush. Finest Playa Mujeres has one of my favorite gazebos here, this stone gazebo where you can see the water, but you can't actually have your toes in the sand, and you're far enough back and reserved that you're not going to have gawkers inside your actual ceremony. Finest is one of my favorite wedding resorts to work with in general because of the way Excellence handles their wedding groups. However, a few things to note. Again, if I were doing an adults only property, this is not the one I would choose. Family friendly, this could be at the top of your list. Finest and Excellence brands don't handle large weddings well. If you're doing under 100 guests, then these could be at the tops of your lists. Over 100 guests, most of their venues, if not all of their venues, really can't handle that many. And so we would need to look at a larger property with a larger footprint. Real talk, the quality is high here. It's not ultra luxe, but it's not the bottom of the barrel. You're getting a great resort at a great price point, again, with that Excellence brand. Even though it's Finest, it's still Excellence brand. The wedding packages have a lot included in them. So again, you're gonna pay just a little more than you would at some others, but you have so many more inclusions. And this last resort, I fear, might be slightly underrated. I hope she was on your short list, but if she wasn't, hopefully she is now. Secrets Akumal. This one is pretty far south again. We're close to Unico 2087, so we're over an hour south of Cancun International Airport and Cancun Hotel Zone. So we're over an hour south of that. So a lot of people don't love it for that reason, but this property is so pretty. Like actually so pretty. If you are looking for that jungle vibe, that sea turtle vibe, that really beautiful Mexican architecture, Secrets Akumal should be on your short list. Adults only. Did I say that? If you want your guests to have options, the pool is great, the beach is great, the snorkeling is great. Secrets Akumal is such a lovely choice. And again, if you want that jungle vibe, lush greenery everywhere, this is it. Shortlist, folks, shortlist. Secrets is one of those brands where I can't recommend every property. They're not all the same. Don't all function the same or look the same. But Secrets Moxché, Secrets Akumal, and if I had a runner-up, Secrets Maroma definitely hit. Real talk though, the transfers here are hard. I know you probably don't want your guests to be that far away from the international airport. However, let's set them up with private transfers so they can just get in a car and go straight there. They don't have to stop on a shuttle all the way down. There are definitely things we can do to make it work. And again, sometimes it's a little bit about you. And if this property hits for you, I think your guests can handle a little bit longer transfer. Okay, so those are the top 6 properties I have shown recently, and those are the top 6 properties clients have chosen recently. Ironically, they're the same. Who knew? But how are you going to choose between all of these properties? Let's ask ourselves a few questions. Are you going to have a little bit smaller, more intimate wedding? If you are, I really love Unico 2087 and I really love Secrets Akumal. That's less people, right? If we're doing 40 or 50 people or less, that's less people you have to transfer all the way down close to Tulum. If you have what I would call a mid-size wedding, 40 to 80 guests, I love the Excellence brand. So Excellence Coral Playa Mujeres, Finest Playa Mujeres, those are for sure my favorites if you're in that sweet spot. If you're doing a little bit larger wedding, 80 to 120 people, I really love Paradisus Playa Del Carmen. Remember, it's got that wide range of budget in your room block, which is really helpful. But then also Secrets Moxché, because a few of their wedding spots can handle a little bit bigger group. How important is the location? If you need your guests close to the airport, because a lot of them will have to stay only 3 days or less, then we really need to shrink that range, and I can show you some different options. Is the beach really important? Because if that's the case, some of these have a way better beach than others. If you want your toes in the sand when you're getting married, definitely there are better beaches. If budget is a huge priority, Paradisus Playa del Carmen again could be the winner, but Excellence and Finest both offer some really great rates if you plan a wedding, and especially if we're looking 12 or more months out, we can really lock in some good deals. And of course, what is your wedding going to look like? Do you want something customized from head to toe? If that's the case, I recommend we look at something like Unico 2087 because really you can have a beautiful custom experience there. Are you looking for something that's a big celebration party? Paradisus can accommodate that. At the end of the day, though, here's what I want you to know. All of these resorts that I've shared with you today can handle beautiful weddings. The best will, of course, be dependent on you. The best one resort does not exist. We have to really match it to your vibe, your guest list, and what you envision for your day. I never recommend resorts just based on brochures or wedding photos or TripAdvisor reviews. I walk these properties, I talk to the wedding specialists on site, I have emails and connections and phone numbers, and I can help you get things done. My resort recommendations are based on my actual clients' experiences, my experiences, and my personal stays at these properties. If you are trying to figure out if Cancun is the right area for your destination wedding, please make sure you read the description below because I have linked in there a free getting started guide to planning your wedding in Cancun. And it covers things like your budget, some of my resort options, how to handle guests, so much to really get you started. And of course, if this was helpful, please make sure you're liking, subscribing to the channel so that you get all sorts of new destination wedding information that focuses on that Cancun and Riviera Maya area. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.